Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Original reggae music from the world. This is King Reyes. You nigga, real rocko. Oh no, bitch. My friend Mike. Get the sound, respect. You tell you say 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, respect. Bomba clap. Chili say. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aragon, ready for the battles and warriors. Tell them magic words, ready people legend. Sing it for it till it's on again. My girl. People legend. Buffalo, my girl. Son la curva de tu cuerpo, las que me pierden por dentro y no me dejan imaginar. Voy vagando en el desierto con esta pena por dentro y solo queda poder volar. Vivo como quiero. No quiero tu veneno, me salva tu beso caramelo, que es lo que me van a matar. Vivo como quiero, mi flaca, no quiero tu veneno, me salva tu beso caramelo, que es lo que me van a matar. Ready for the battles and warriors, tell them magic words, ready people legend. Sing it for it till it's on again. My girl. Que no tengo mensaje, un homenaje al flow, es lo que le traje, sonido salvaje, tanto personaje que no sabe quedar. Así levanto tu persona como gángster en la zona, que lo bueno no abandona sin llorar. El sentimiento me presiona sin dudar, la vida buena como tal. Muy bien, me siento ver igual, tanto que te canto como el sheriff del Far West. Oh, my God, solo. Oh, my God, solo. Oh, reggae music, dance of it all. Ready for the battles and warriors, tell them magic words, ready people legend. Sing it for it till it's on again. My girl, again, ready for the battles and warriors, tell them magic words, ready people legend. Again. Buffalo,
amo como es mi mamá. Te doy ese amor que me nace y te sana, que te nace y me sana. Inshallah, que todo ese amor crezca como rama. Soy esa raíz que llego a tu cara, que llego y te cala. Soy esa semilla que llego al futuro, bro. Vuelo por espacio que recuerdan que soy yo aquí y ahora. Aquí y ahora, no están. Soy esa semilla que llego al futuro, bro. Vuelo por espacio que recuerdan que soy yo aquí y ahora. Aquí y ahora,
Ready for the warriors and warriors, tell them magic words for the people legend. Sing it for it till it's on again. My girl, again. Ready for the warriors and warriors, tell them magic words for the people legend. Buffalo, 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 my girl.
El autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Yo.
Que alguien
me explique.
Who are you?
All right, fam. That's what we got here. What up, bro? Good to have you. What up, quit? I haven't talked in a bit, man. Hope you're doing well. We all get busy. Listen, I think I have a good topic today. I have not done this type of topic in over, I think, 2 years. Okay, the last time I did a class regarding a so-called migration, anything to do with Arsarit, was a long time ago. So this will be officially like a live one. Hopefully, I can go pretty far, pretty long. Not long, but enough where it's. I want to connect everything together today because I've done classes on this, and I brought different. Not I brought more information on each class, and I kind of left out the previous one, so I want to connect it today, once and for all. Oh, I'm going to tell you something, man. Nobody's telling you guys, okay? Indigenous revolution, I'm calling your ass out now. Nobody's telling you, right? That you have to believe this because apparently people like you are very fucking confusing. Not too long ago, this man, what young kid, I don't know what the fuck, did a video saying something about the migration Siberians, like that we were Siberians, okay? And he got a lot of pushback on his fucking comments. Now he did a video again, I don't know, 10 days ago. I just caught it. And now he's like basically saying that that's not true. So what the fuck is it? Y'all go to school, to college with these fancy, you know, elegant buildings and rich ass white people, and they teach you and give you that certificate that makes you, I don't know, a college graduate. Then you want to come and tell us how we are incorrect or we are wrong, even though we prove it. So does this documentation does not matter? Like fuck no, man. You can go to fucking hell for all I give a shit, bro. We don't need people like you because in reality, I mean, you're not teaching anything that's significant. Your AI shit is getting pretty fucking tiring. You know, and then you want to debunk my shit, then call me out. Let's begin, family, because this is an important topic. We're going to show how and show examples of why we clearly can map an origin of some sort, okay? All right, so let's just begin. Let's begin, man. Let's just start now. Let's go.
La derrota de Tenochtitlán no fue Hernán Cortés, fue Ixtlilxóchitl. Se peleó con su hermano Cacama. Cacama estaba del lado de Moctezuma y pues puso a Cacama como rey de Texcoco y el otro se le volteó y se fue con los españoles. Y él le hizo la estrategia de guerra. A ver, ¿cómo te explicas que sin conocer el territorio, sin conocer aliados, de repente tiene un montón? Pues hay una historia que no se ha contado. No estoy de acuerdo con el mestizaje porque no fue de voluntad, era forzado, era violento, ¿verdad? Cortés, quien se le atravesaba a las hijas de Moctezuma, a todo mundo, ¿no? ¿Y por qué eso no lo cuentan? Que él nunca peleó directamente con los guerreros. Y luego hace una historia para vanagloriarse y aparece un nuevo historiador, Bernal Díaz del Castillo.
This is why we can't necessarily take you sincerely if you're just, regurgitating white science. Like that's what you're doing. Regurgitating white science, basically. Now we see from what this man knows, and he's within his respect, he knows his shit. Now, he just said, in case you missed it, that Bernal del Castillo was actually Hernán Cortés. Seriously, man. Like, for real, bro.
MESHIACHA.
That's basically what he's saying.
Pero nunca existió Bernal Díaz del Castillo. Fue el seudónimo de Hernán Cortés, porque tenía prohibido escribirlo. Esa es la historia que se da a Europa. El que hizo la derrota de Tenochtitlán.
So he could not write about himself. You know what I'm saying? Hernán Cortés could not write about himself. So he wrote under the name Bernal del Castillo. Like, for real.
MESHIACHA.
Yeah, let's listen to it once more.
Titlán no fue Hernán Cortés, fue Ixtlilxóchitl. Se peleó con su hermano Cacama. Cacama estaba del lado de Moctezuma y pues puso a Cacama como rey de Texcoco y el otro se le volteó y se fue con los españoles. Y él le hizo la estrategia de guerra. A ver, ¿cómo te explicas que sin conocer el territorio, sin conocer aliados, de repente tiene un montón? Pues hay una historia que no se ha contado. No estoy de acuerdo con el mestizaje porque no fue de voluntad, era forzado, era violento, ¿verdad? Cortés, quién se le atravesaba, a las hijas de Moctezuma, a todo mundo, ¿no? ¿Y por qué eso no lo cuentan? Que él nunca peleó directamente con los guerreros. Y luego hace una historia para vanagloriarse y aparece un nuevo historiador, Bernal Díaz del Castillo. Pero nunca existió Bernal Díaz del Castillo. Fue el pseudónimo de Hernán Cortés.
Shit, bro. We can't take your word for shit. You know, we have to do our own due diligence on the research that is demanded. First of all, it's demanded of you if you share this belief that we have here in this family. Hey, what's up? Saludos, saludos. What's up, queridos? Buenos días. What up, bro? I said what's up earlier in case you didn't catch it. So this exercise, this ability, now that we can fucking read, excuse my language, like this has to be done. So Bernal del Castillo was technically Hernán Cortés, okay? Was indeed associated with Hernán Cortés during the conquest of the empire. Oh, shit. Remember, keep in mind that it was Sumarraga that authorized or declined our rights to read. And we all should know this. I don't know why this is such a complicated thing. You know, I honestly, how can I say this? I'm not trying to get mad at people, bro. You get what I mean? Like, that's not my intent. But it's like, if you know damn well, so-called historians, that, you know, the takeaway of our so-called heritage, right? Let me see. Hold on a second. The mysteries. Sorry, of the Mexican pyramid. I have this book, and for some reason I always forget the page that it's on. So we're gonna borrow it right now. Okay, I'm gonna borrow this right now because it seems like this has to be reminded. You know, we see here people lying to us. Technically, you couldn't glorify yourself, so then you had to create, you know, another name. And we also hear that, I think I have the video. I don't think I have it included in my list here, but Columbus was called Hernán Zarco, some shit like that. Hey, what up, bro? Good to have you here. Hold on, to all the gente, hold on, to all the gente.
MESHIACHA.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
Yeah, this rabbit hole is deep, bro. They've been lying, and we can't just take people for face value. I mean, fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Esau's government is falling apart. You guys can actually see it crumbling in its own moment. And, you know, regardless of what people want to fight for, land, or I want to be called a native Indian, whatever, fuck it. Who cares? Let them. Obviously, it's a certificate from the gringo. You know what I mean? Like, that should solidify exactly who they are. Let's listen to this again. This is fucking important.
Porque tenía prohibido escribirlo. Esa es la historia que se da a Europa. El que hizo la derrota de Tenochtitlán no fue Hernán Cortés, fue Ixtlilxóchitl. Se peleó con su hermano Cacama. Cacama estaba del lado de Moctezuma y pues puso a Cacama como rey de Texcoco y el otro se le volteó y se fue con los españoles.
I remember hearing a story like that one guy gave up his brother. He went to these people and said, hey, this is the plan, you know what I mean? If you let me rule, you know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. They're like, okay, cool. But then after that, they killed him as well. That's what you get. You can't trust thine enemy. For as iron rusts, so does he.
Y él le hizo la estrategia de guerra. A ver, ¿cómo te explicas que sin conocer el territorio, sin conocer aliados, de repente tiene un montón? Pues hay una historia que no se ha contado. No estoy de acuerdo con el mestizaje porque no fue de voluntad, era forzado, era violento, ¿verdad? Cortés quién se le atravesaba, a las hijas de Moctezuma, a todo mundo, ¿no? ¿Y por qué eso no lo cuentan? Que él nunca peleó directamente con los guerreros. Y luego hace una historia para vanagloriarse y aparece un nuevo historiador, Bernal Díaz del Castillo. Pero nunca existió Bernal Díaz del Castillo. Fue el pseudónimo de Hernán Cortés, porque tenía prohibido escribirlo. Esa es la historia que se da a Europa.
Now you hear it. Now you see it. Now you know it. There's no denying it. You could read about this guy, but now it's very clear. Now, why is this important? Here in the mysteries of the Mexican pyramid, okay, I'm going to take you to page 16. And this is how wobbles I flush wobbles down the toilet. FBAs, all of you so-called natives, if you are legitimately through your father and you're here, all praises to the Most High for that. But if you're not, and you're originally from somewhere else, I don't give a shit about you. And this is how I know that a lot of you guys just don't know shit. If you say that we supposedly replaced you, like that's literally called replacement theory. The same shit the white people are fighting for right now. You know, the Cracker Barrels out there like trying to like really be aggressive towards anybody of color. That's called replacement theory. They're being told that they're going to be replaced. Y'all are no different. Now, page 16 says something extremely important. And it doesn't say it to anybody else. It says it to the natives. The people that were here originally went through this originally. It says on page 16, as land was stolen from the natives, great famine ensued. Meaning people were freaking starving, fam. Okay? And that's not all. Yet, heavy taxes were laid on our people. Now, here's the catch, fam. You see these wobbles like, oh my God, we were the originals here. Well, guess what? There were so-called Jews that were coming here in 1492. You don't see them saying anything in their history that they saw Africans over here. Do they? No.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
You like this.
Where's your soul? You preach 10 commandments, but broke every scroll.
You see that? Yeah, I'm going to use this shit. I'm mocking his ass, by the way. Anyways, it says here, yet heavy taxes were laid on Indians. Those who failed to pay were tortured to death. Not only were you stolen, taken on ships, being enslaved, sold worldwide. We've proven that already. It's not a fucking, it happened. Great resources I've provided you. I don't know if you don't want to listen. It's up to y'all. Don't let these idiots take advantage of your great history because you don't read. Come on, man. Now, it says here, great famine ensued. Heavy taxes were laid. Those who failed were tortured. Those who failed to pay were tortured. Then it says, Indians who refused to join the Catholic Church were horsewhipped. You know, like they tie you up on a fucking pole. You know, like those movies about slavery. You know what I'm saying? That supposedly certain people went through that shit heavily for 400 years. Had their heads shaved on top of that and were forbidden to hold office or title in their villages. Now, watch this real quick. For failing to attend mass or for participating in and for practicing any of his old riots, an Indian could receive 100 lashes. Ever make a movie about that? Nah.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Of course not. It's not convenient. We don't hold the media, right? And we're not their puppets. Now, here's where you push back on these idiots. According to the Spaniards, Indians were supposed to know only the Our Father, Ave Maria, Credo, and the 10 Commandments. You hear that? So all you knew how to know was that right there. That's why every Mexica, okay, knows, Padre nuestro estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Do you, Wobbles, know? No, you don't. Most of you were Baptist. Fucking Calvinists. Puritans. What are you talking about? You came with the Catholics. You had black popes. Please. Now it says that only these things we were allowed to learn. Why? Reading and writing was considered as dangerous as the devil. Do you understand what that means? This is in 1490 motherfucking told. Gosh darn it, man. And we were told, no, todo lo único que tú puedes aprender, güey, el Padre Nuestro, Ave María, el pinche credo y los 10 mandamientos, para que veas. Así como, pues usted ya sabe, señor, porque eres un indio, cabrón. Y si no me pagas mis impuestos, güey, te voy a dar un latigazo que ni te aguantarías. Qué bonitos católicos, ¿no? How beautiful of a Christian religion. How loving is Jesus, isn't it? Now, why is this important? This is important because I've showed this to you, and I'm not going to read the entire thing, okay? Because I basically have done it before. Watch this, and this is from, and I honestly, man, this is all the Father, His ability, because I have no clue where I found this, and I'm the only one ever to bring this out. No other channel ever done it, did it before me, and if they have, good for them now that they're showing it, but no one did. This came from me. I don't know where I found this. I can't remember. But if you look at this page from the Lutheran Witness, it was dated September 7th, 1900, okay? So this is not a joke. Here he's basically, it's a newsletter. And he's basically mocking the Catholics here, okay? And he's talking about how Sumarraga, right, implemented what's called a Christian compendium, which is what you were forced to learn. Now, it says here that from 1539 and 1810, when the immortal Hidalgo raised a cry of Mexican independence, or during the 271 years of Spanish rule and misrule in Mexico, Spain not only did not give Mexico a Bible, you understand that? Since they got here, no Bible were you supposed to read and write, my friend. Any reading and writing, which or did not include the Bible, was prohibited. Remember that. Who implemented this? Christian Catholics. Sumarraga was the originator of also the stupid Virgin Pinche Mary that you guys worship. That shit was made up. Idiots. The prohibition is still in force with regard to the printing of the Bible in any of the dialects. I think 52 dialects it says. And then it says the first edition of the Bible in Mexico was printed finally in Latin and in Spanish in Mexico City between 1831 and 1833. How funny that 10 years later, 15 years later, we lose half of that shit. Anyway, let's continue. It appears in 25 volumes with an atlas and costs over $200. That's in 1833, by the way. So you were only supposed to learn Ave Maria, Padre Nuestro, Credo, 10 Mandamientos. You weren't supposed to read and write, and definitely not get a hold of the Bible, okay? Remember that. But that doesn't matter, right? Nah, we're gonna just accept the scholars because they went to college. Y'all went to college. Let me show you something real quick. I have here. This book is called Zion in America. Okay. Zion in America. Here we see just on page 4, it mentions the hope of Israel, right? Now, you guys have heard of this guy before. So here's where we see somebody writing about the possibility of us being the Hebrews. Ben Israel linked the Jews directly to the New World by accepting at face value the numerous stories encircling the Indians were, in fact, the 10 lost tribes of Israel. Now, here's the interesting part, and I always thought about this. For Jews and some Christians as well, this could only mean that the biblical injunction which spoke of dispersing the Jews to the furthest corners of the earth had come to pass, and that therefore the coming of the Messiah in his second coming was imminent. So this is around 1600, okay? Indeed, it was probably the background for success of Sabbatai Sevi, because Sabbatai Sevi around 1666 was false. He was claiming to be the Messiah. At that time, people believed it because they were writing about us. And then it died down because, obviously, Sabbatai Sevi was no Messiah. Oh, this is so funny, dude. So, if you continue reading this page, right, it speaks about pretty much the history of the Marranos, Cochinos, the Moors, 1492, yada, yada, yada. You see what I'm saying? You get a glimpse of the so-called promised land, right? Now, I'm showing you these. I'm not necessarily reading them for the sake of trying to speed up, but I want you to take pictures of them so you can read them later, because you'll get to understand the overall picture here that we're trying to show. Now, in the same book, it references several other books. Solomon Grazel, The History of the Jews, from the Babylon exile to the establishment of Israel. It also mentions Jews in Massachusetts, Jewish pioneers in America. Puritans entertained a similar belief. And a missionary issued an appeal to London to help Indians in 1650. You see this? So a lot of them were in the hopes, like every freaking year, everybody's wishing for this shit to end. Another name, Thorogood, published Jews in America, in which he explores a possible relationship between Jews and Indians. Okay? Then it says Cotton Mather and William Penn. I've never really heard of Cotton Mather, to be honest with you, but I have read William Penn's book. Also were preoccupied with the subject. Actually, the thing was not Jewish in origin, having been entertained by Catholic missionaries such as Bartolomé de las Casas. He was the first one that was petitioning because he saw the traditions of our people very similar to our gente, what they were doing. And he was also seeing the stuff that he was finding, like, whoa, they know about the duelage. They know about all of that stuff. Like, yeah, they do. We did. This is Jews in America, which was mentioned. Just giving us an idea once more. I want you to take a picture of that. Now, here's where it gets interesting, okay? I'll show you guys a couple of things. Page 6. 1492 also marked the culmination of 800 years of struggle between the forces of Christianity and Mohammedan Moors. Almost 1,000 years, by the way. Granada fell and Christian Spain at last triumphed. 1492 will also mark the year that when the letter patent were issued to Christopher Columbus, and he set out from the port of Palos on his voyage of discovery. Now, it says here that on the bottom, I'll read this. The principal financial support for Columbus, I want you to pay attention to this, you white, stupid nationalists. This is a game with y'all. Apparently so. The principal financial support for Columbus' expedition of discovery came from two Marranos, pinches cochinos. They were Luis de Santagal and Gabriel Sanchez. When Columbus discovered a new world, he sent his first two letters to Santa Angel and Sanchez. Not jewels, but Jews unlock the gates of the hemisphere. Now you know why people want to get rid of you. Do you understand now why people want to get rid of you? Columbus studied the maps drawn by Judo Crexkes of Portugal, a Jew. Right? Now it says here on page 7, was Christopher Columbus a Jew? His origin and birthplace is shrouded in mystery, which is funny. You know that it's funny that actually happens because right now nobody wants to even talk about like who is this guy. Nobody even knows. Supposedly he was Spanish or he was Italian. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand. Give me a second, family. So we have now a good idea of who and why this relationship and why you have like the Stephen Miller types. The hatred for you is unreal. I want you to pay attention to the bottom part. In 1500, Columbus wrote to Juana de Torres, probably the same Marrano family of Luis de Torres, his interpreter, and Antonio de Torres, who later commanded 12 of Columbus' fleets. He writes that he is troubled by wicked Christians, and our Lord, who rescued Daniel and the 3 children, is present with the same wisdom and power as he had then. So people can't claim that Christopher Columbus was a Christian. More than anything, he was a practicing Talmudic bastard. See, we do know that 3 centuries before Columbus, Moses de Leon wrote in the Zohar that the earth revolved like a ball, so that when it is day on one half of the globe, night reigns over the other half. In their Mithra, says the world is like a ball that is thrown from hand to hand. We do know that where the history of the Jews in Spain ends, that of the Jews in America begins. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that the fucking case?
Who are you?
Right. Who are you, bro? Luis de Santagal was one of the richest men in Spain. His father had been the collector of royal taxes in Valencia. More likely was also Freemason. I mean, seriously, dude, I can't deny this no more. Now, check this out. This is very interesting. Yeah, Mama? Let me just finish real quick. Hold on, I just started, okay? Hold on. I can't right now. Sorry, fam. Hold on. My daughter wants to play T. I can't right now, fam. You know what I mean? I'm in the middle of something. Hey, anyway, so it says here that physician, Marco, a surgeon, Luis de Torres, an interpreter, Rodrigo Sanchez, an inspector, Alfonso de Calle, Rodrigo de Triana, sailor. Rodrigo de Triana, in another book I have, was the first white person to land in America. First white person. So the original people that came, like Christopher Columbus and all these bastards, were swarthy, dirty bastards. Swarthy, stinking, dirty bastards that carry diseases. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily just, a group of people, fam. This is what it is. Rodrigo de Triana was the crow's nest of the Pinto on the quarter deck on watch. You see this? It says here, it was 2 o'clock in the morning when he shouted, land, land. Tierra, tierra. The sails were shortened, and at daybreak, Friday, October 12, 1492, a new world was before them. Columbus called it San Salvador, and Luis de Torres was the first one to step on land. Columbus saw that the settings was not the anticipated one of India, so they sailed to Cuba. Here again, Luis de Torres went first because he was the interpreter. Understood Hebrew, Chaldaic, Chaldaic, Arabic, and other languages that he had held in a Spanish government position as an interpreter. Luisa Torres went with another member of the crew to deliver a letter of the greeting of the king and queen of Spain, of the great Khan of Tartaria. See here, you're saying that he actually met these people. He would be able to converse with the great Khan. Luisa Torres was both an ambassador and interpreter. Now here's where they confirm which language he spoke to. Well, he spoke to us with. Did he use Hebrew? Did he use Chaldaic or Arabic? Okay, watch. Instead of the great Khan, Torres saw natives smoking tobacco. He also saw strange birds, which he called tuki, the Hebrew word for peacock. The word tuki was later corrupted and became our modern word for turkey. You see this here. Now, if you pay attention to what it's actually saying, right? This guy said, yo, they speak Hebrew. How do I know this? I'm going to show you something. So remember, that's from Jews in the American history, okay? This is a history of the Jews. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, man. I'm going to show you the other page. We got to go in order, okay? So we just read that. Now, in this book here called Jews, God, and History, I've read this to y'all before. On page 371, they confirm, once again, what language we spoke. Jewish history in America, and this is where he's being boastful about who they are, what they've done, their contribution, all that shit, right? Jewish history in America begins with the expulsion of the Jews from Spain in the same year and month that Columbus set sail on the first voyage in search of the trade route to India. BS. They knew where we were, okay? Because obviously, if you consider what the scriptures talk about, the land of Ophir, they mapped it out here as the land of Ophir. I mean, hello? Jews served on, now watch this. Jews served on board his small flotilla as able-bodied seamen, map readers, interpreters, and surgeons. We just read that earlier before, right? Watch what it says here. And I want you to pay close attention, and I need this to marinate in your soul. Please, I'm practically begging y'all. If you resonate to what I'm sharing with y'all, you guys are Hebrews of the scriptures. Some people say the Bible is not real, made up. Fine. If it was made up, fine. But I find it so freaking fucking interesting that not only does it speak of what would happen to us from the beginning of time. Deuteronomy 28 talks about everything that happened here. Watch this too, though. In the same Bible that some of you guys say it's not real, it says, Psalms 137:7, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, meaning destroy, even to the foundation thereof. The old daughter of Babylon. Now, Edom wasn't running shop in Babylon, were they? Hell no. So, I'm about to explain. So, it's talking about some other type of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Served us. That's the important word right there. Us. So, what did they serve us, family? Happy shall he be that take it and dash it thy little ones against the stones. Now, we're going to touch on that pretty soon. But that did occur to our people, to our children. And our gente saw that shit. Do you understand? Deuteronomy 28 is just the icing on the cake. Because almost every nation, a lot of nations went through these curses, but not every nation went through it exactly like this, like we have. If the Bible is so fake, then how come it says, hey, there are certain animals I don't want you to eat, and certain animals I want you to eat. Now, there are also certain types of birds I want you to eat and not want to eat. There is also certain types of, creepy little things that I would like for you to eat if you need to or not. How is it so that we have been always known to eat grasshoppers?
A ver, que alguien me explique.
Who are you?
If you guys say the Bible is not real, okay, fine. You're natives, you know what I'm saying? You're natives, whatever. Fuck, you came from the fucking ground. You're like a mushroom and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you've had no human contact with no one else. You know what I mean? You were a monkey and you developed into this. How come these people were to wear fringes on their garments? If it's not real, how come unleavened bread, which is masa, is in the Bible, but it's not real? So there has to be a some type of commonality that you guys need to fucking come to the conclusion to. You can't just say no, and you don't even know the book. That's for one. Let's continue. It says, as a footnote to history, once again, these Jews are confirming, boasting what they know. As a footnote to history, we must record the fact that the Indians on the Caribbean island, like my brother here, okay, where the flotilla first landed, were greeted. They weren't greeted in Mandarin, Siberian, I don't know what language that may be. They weren't greeted with English or Spanish. Go away. Or I say they weren't greeted with like Mexican language. No, they were greeted in Hebrew and Arabic by one Luis de Torres. We just read that. A Jewish interpreter aboard the black ship, for Columbus was certain. I thought he was trying to aim for India. Did Indians know Hebrew?
A ver, que alguien me explique.
Who are you?
Mm-mm. Right. The ring part, like cut off, like a true natives do. It says here, it was Torres, incidentally, after speaking to us, Tuki, tobacco, you know what I'm saying? It was the Torres, incidentally, who discovered maize and brought it to Europe. Oh, shit. How would he communicate with them? Exactly. Now, check this out. Where with potato, it enriched the diet of the Western man. Now, they don't go on and say, yeah, but, we found it to be untrue, or, we found other information. No, not at all. Not at all. That's not what occurred. They confirmed it without having to confirm it. Now, here's a book called A History of the Jews. Okay? Let me see if I could go back. 253, 223, 224. I think it's right here. Oh, no, I'll show that later because it's kind of a side topic. This is the Jewish pioneers in America, 1492. Here they mention also the hope of Israel, right? People, I guess, stopped believing because Jesus didn't fly down from the sky. Now,
on page 20, here on the bottom, just to confirm, one possibility, hold on a second, let me go back. Page 20, by the way. Okay. It says here, one possibility, however, should not be overlooked. Antonio Montesino or Aram Levi traveled to the New World more than a century later after Luis de Torres and other Jewish fugitives of the Inquisition settled there. Indian slaves of the settlers might have been taught a few Hebrew phrases. But that's not what we read earlier, right? Okay, so, but, some people will read this part and be like, oh, you see, like indigenous revolutionary guys, like, hey, you see, that's not true. Right, even though you didn't actually read what he read, well, what he actually said. Sometimes that shit is funny to me, bro. Now, it says here also, continues with the argument. Thomas Thorogood book has the ponderance titled Jews in America or Probability that the Indians are Judaical, made more probable by some additional to the former conjunctures. So he was another person that wrote about our hint to here. Some people didn't agree. The Law of Tribes argument was again revived on the eve of American Revolution when James Adair, for 40 years as an Indian trader, wrote an exhaustive argument in the proof of this theory. Since his work was widely read, discussed, and accepted, it may be well to summarize his text. For the most exact observations I could make in a long time I traded among the Indians, I was forced to believe them descended from the Israelites. Why so? They are Orientalists in thought and in speech form, meaning like Eastern philosophy, so to speak, theology. Not that they look like that. Okay? It says many Old Testament ideas are current among them. They taboo certain animals as unclean. They worship the Great Spirit, Yahweh, right? They have a strict sense of personal purity. Their government is a theocracy. God, the immediate head of the state. They believe in angels and call them good spirits. They, like the Jews, have high priests. The festivals, fast, and religious rites have all a great resemblance to those of the Hebrews. Now, this is a man that was among our gente at that time. He's not writing about it from a distance. He's not some young kid who graduated from college probably 10, 15 years ago on YouTube claiming that, we are mushrooms and we have no connection with no human being anywhere else. So somehow native Indians or indigenous people from this continent, right? Like this is like we just, I don't know. Like we're organism. If you guys ever seen the movie Prometheus, that should tell you. Stupid. Are you going to ignore all of this? They have a 2-day fast for the same purpose as the Day of Atonement. They too offer sacrifices. We also eat corn, maize, which is in the Bible, which is unleavened bread. In case you guys don't know this, tamales is in the freaking Bible too. What do I know, right? Like, what do I know? You know what I'm saying? What do I know? I don't know. I guess I don't know shit. Vincent Kingsborough. Let me read this part. This legend has a slow and lingering death in 1830. Viscount Kingsborough, I believe. That's how you read that word. Vincent. Revived a discussion. Mrs. Barbara Ann Simmons summarized it 6 years later in the 10 Tribes of Israel, historically identified. I've showed you guys that book a lot. In America, the blatant Mordecai Noah added fuel to the flames of controversy. The Indians of American continent are their admitted Asiatic origin. Again, that doesn't mean that you're Chinese. Asiatic is also in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? Being in all probability the descendants of the lost tribes, he stated it in one of his proclamations. On several occasions when phylacteries were found in Massachusetts or Hebrew vessels in Ohio, the subjects were reopened. These fake relics were discredited and the matter again consigned to oblivion. Who discredited them? You know what I mean? It's all about who's got power at that time. all about who's got power at that time. And this one here, God's first love. Let me show you this. This is also kind of giving you a history, right? If you can take a picture of that. I want you to pay attention to this. In this torment to Spain, confessional hatred turned into pure race hatred. Christians hated Jews, Moranos, Moors, Moriscos, the converted descendants of Moors. And against this race hatred, Pope Nicholas V and Bishop Alonso de Cartagena, the son of the former rabbi, and Bishop Pablo de Santa Maria appealed in vain. That's not Cartagena. That's crazy. Now, here's what I wanted to show you. King Ferdinand, remember he married Queen Isabella? And they supposedly kicked out all the Jews. King Ferdinand, the Catholic, had Jewish blood. You guys have heard this last name here, Habsburg, were closely related to Jews. So, all of you guys that are going around being white pride nationalists, saying that you built this fucking country, bro, y'all stupid. You don't know shit. You're just living this imaginary life like if you're so great. It's really laughable to me. Now watch this, los conquistadores psicópatas. It says here, el 12 de octubre de 1492, Cristóbal Colón no descubrió América, contrario a lo que comúnmente se conoce. Esta fecha representa el principio de la sumisión total, la brutal explotación y el exterminio de millones de indígenas.
¡Que alguien me explique!
Damn freaking right. What up, Chris? It says here, esta fecha representa, hold on, la entrada de Cristóbal Colón en el mar del Caribe significó el aniquilamiento sistémico de los habitantes de la isla de las Antillas y la destrucción de la cultura taína debido a la explotación humana. This is true. It says here, a la que fueron sometidos a las enfermedades infecciosas transmitidas por los europeos y a la violencia propia de la conquista. Just like that. Yeah. Let me see what you got. Rodrigo de Triana was the first prick my people in Quisqueyahu saw along the Columbus and the rest of the filthy syphilis crew. Man, that's horrible, bro. Yep, they first landed over there where y'all were at. It says here, el inicio de este proceso el inicio de estos procesos de explotación y esclavización se representa históricamente en Cristóbal Colón, la cruel política iniciada por Colón y continuada por sus sucesores desembocó en un genocidio completo. It's true. 100% genocide. So all of you guys, first of all, white nationalists want to worship this Jew. Christopher Columbus was a Jew. And you want to know something? He wasn't a light-skinned Jew. He was a dark-skinned Jew. Now, we know exactly the converts from North Africa, from Khazars, Sephardics, all of that shit occurred. So, don't think that I'm giving them any clout whatsoever. This is the only channel that debunks their shit. It says, la explotación a que sometió a los indígenas fue brutal. This is why you wobbles are a piece of shits, man. You're a piece of fucking shit work. Because you don't understand that your so-called, we were here, you're just spitting at the grave of people that actually really suffered. And it wasn't your people that fucking suffered, you piece of shits. Les exigía la estrecha de cierta cantidad de oro a cambio de un colgante de cobre que les servía como salvoconducto para preservar su vida. Cuando se encontraba algún aborigen sin dicho colgante, se le cortaban las manos y se le dejaba desangrar hasta la muerte. You see these psychopaths. Now remember, keep in mind, family, that these were white and black conquistadors. These were not just white people. These were dark-skinned, Negro-looking as well. So fuck them. Asimismo, Colón fue el primer promotor y traficante de esclavos. You see what I'm saying? The first people that got enslaved here were our people. Stop the fucking cap with these stupid movies, man. You're annoying everybody because now we know it's just you looking for empathy and shit off of a fake story. No encontraron oro, pero tenían que llenar las naves que volvían a España con algún tipo de dividendo. En el año 1495 realizaron una gran incursión en busca de esclavos. Capturaron a 1,500 hombres, mujeres y niños Arawak.
MESHIACHA.
What the hell, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
This shit's like, man, you know what?
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
This is on your guys' territory, by the way. The latter, I think that you're Cuban, I think you said. I don't know if it's you. In Guaracuya. You guys are islanders here. Les tuvieron en corrales vigilados por españoles y perros. You know, it gets difficult when I read this and I think about the horrific shit that occurred to us. And you know, I like the fact, I don't know, I mean, look, there was about 10 people watching. I don't know at what point people left. But I know that when I talk like this and not say that these were only white people, a lot of you fucking leave. So I don't know who's following my channel. But if you think that I'm ever going to turn away from what I know, you're lost in the sauce. You're hoping for something that is never going to freaking happen. Ever. This is what I know. That black and white people came together and fucked us all over. Destroyed our people and gave us nasty fucking diseases. Does that hurt your feelings? Oh, I'm sorry. Should I just blame the white man for this? Y'all were psychopaths, bro. All of you. This is so fucking painful, bro. Los tuvieron en corrales vigilados por españoles y perros, güey. Para luego escoger los mejores 500 espécimes y cargarlos en naves. Have they ever made a movie about indigenous people going through slavery, being put on ships?
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Nah.
A ver, que alguien me explique.
You know what I'm saying? Let me see what you got, bro. It says, it's interesting that Wabos don't come in here with their fake lies. I wonder if they've been hit with some truth and have been in darkroom just thinking. Nah, man. They go rampant on TikTok and Instagram. They just don't come here, bro, because they know I'm assuming they know what they'll run into. You know, I'm not an unlearned individual. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to toot my horn either. I'm not stupid is what I mean. I think I can at least say that. Let's continue. Now it says here, la otra historia de los Estados Unidos desde 1492 hasta el presente. So this is from the book La Otra Historia de los Estados Unidos desde 1492 hasta el presente. So this is from that book. Zen Howard wrote that book. So let me see this. Zen Howard. I didn't even catch that. Zen Howard. Wow. Books. A People's History of the United States. Wow. I didn't know this. It's not expensive either. Yeah, it's not expensive. A People's Power. A People's... Look, I'll show you my Amazon account. Look. A People's History of the United States, 1492 by Howard. Right? So it says here, and this is good. This is good to have. This is really, and again, have y'all ever seen a movie about our people going through this shit? Ever? I haven't. As far as I know. You know what I mean? Damn, I really, you know what's funny, bro? I don't really, look, listen, let me just say this, fam. I don't really pay attention to the views as much as I used to, I guess. But as of right now, there's only one viewer. I don't know if it's YouTube doing it. I don't know if it's YouTube doing it. I don't know if it's... But I do know this, that as soon as I bring up some real facts, boom. Let's see what you got, bro. Hey, brother, have you read a book, Origins of the American Indian by Lee Huddleston? Let me see. Origins. Hold on. Let me get this out the way. I'll just do it on this page. What the hell? Let me see. Origins of the American Indian by Lee Huddleston. Oh yeah. I know that book. It's very relatively well known. He's talking about this book, family. Yeah, it's relatively well known. I have that book. Yeah, I have it. But thank you though. Thank you for sharing. Soy Anawak. Appreciate you for being here, brother. What I like to do is I like to show books that people really don't ever show. And that's why I kind of don't show that one much, because it's been around quite some time. And I want to show y'all some stuff that no one ever brings out. Spanish and English. Because that's important. This is how we can prove our experience. Like when you think about what occurred to our people, this is a sad, disgusting thing to read, to be honest with you, because no one ever fucking writes about it. Like no one, you know what I mean, in a way where they can like, hey, look, this happened to you. They don't create no movie to generate empathy towards our gente. Fuck no. They're going around bashing our people, passing commercials on almost like freaking stores. You know what I'm saying? Saying, hey, you illegals, just turn yourself in. It has never stopped. So when you see that los retuvieron en corrales vigilados por españoles y perros. I did a little short movie video on this. And I'm going to show it to you real quick right now, because that reminded me of it. And I'm going to try to skip it. I'm going to speed it up because I don't know how these people are, man. They're weirdos. But anyways, look, check it out. So now we see here, you know, our gente tied up on sticks and shit, right? We got a brother. He's trying to free everybody, okay? So now they're getting chased. They start getting chased. And here's where you see dogs. Now you see that older sister right there, and here's they get to the end, and now we're going to see exactly what they mean by these dogs, because it was disease, the sword, famine, and beast of the field that destroyed our people. Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy 28 confirm all of this. But you still want to listen to some idiot that supposedly got a college degree from the white man? By all means, please do. That's when you read it and you see it that way, it makes a big hell of a difference. Para luego escoger los mejores 500 espécimes y cargarlos de naves. De esos 500, out of those 500 people that were taken on ships, 200 murieron durante el viaje. So 200 of them didn't make it. So where do you think they went? They were thrown overboard, and we got documentation for that. Matter of fact, I remember, and I just didn't do it. I wanted to do a class on us going on slave ships. Just, book after book showing that, and I just forgot to do it. And it clearly shows that our people were being thrown overboard. Have they ever made a movie about us being thrown overboard, fam? Let alone being on ships, let alone being slaves, let alone being natives? It says, en el mismo tenor, el escritor Galeano resumen, 3 años después del descubrimiento, Cristóbal Colón dirigió en persona la campaña militar contra los indígenas de la Dominicana. Guaracuya, un puñado de caballeros, 200 infantes y unos cuantos perros, especialmente adiestrados para el ataque diezmaron a los indios. So within these ships, fam, there was white people and there was black people helping. Remember the book? Africans hold dependent in everywhere the Spaniards went. Don't ever forget that shit. Then it says here on the bottom, let's see, más de 500 enviados a España fueron vendidos como esclavos en Sevilla y murieron miserablemente. Las vanes abiertas de América Latina. So Galeano Eduardo wrote The Open Veins of Latin America, and that's what he talks about. Por su parte, Miguel de Cueno, cómplice de Cristóbal Colón durante el segundo viaje, narra de esta forma la partida de la isla de Santiago. It says, la víspera de nuestro retorno a España, decepcionados al no haber encontrado oro, rodeamos los 4 poblados situados cerca de nuestro fondeadero y capturamos a 1,600 salvajes, hombres, mujeres y niños grandes, y los embarcamos en nuestras naos para venderlos como esclavos en España. Al no contar con espacio suficiente en nuestras carabelas, informamos a los soldados del fortín que podían capturar tantos esclavos como quisieran entre los indios que quedaban. Como la pequeña ralea de las mujeres, los bebés abandonados en sitio, armada un jaleo horrible, le rompimos el cráneo. Los otros niños fueron devorados por las bestias. You see that? So before you go and assume, if this book is not real and it's not talking about us, then how in the world does that even come to conclusion? Psalms 37:9, happy shall he be that take it and dashes thy little ones against the stones. Now, I brought that out twice. We're going to see it pretty close, pretty soon. Visual statements. ¿Cómo pagó de una deuda de juego? El propio Colón me ofreció una magnífica esclava caribe de 11 años, güey. Cuando quise ejercer mis derechos sobre ella, comenzó a gritar y se me resistió. Tuve entonces que disciplinarla con mi látigo y forzarla, güey. Here we see either a white conquistador or a black conquistador or a Jewish conquistador being given a 11-year-old indigenous girl, and he forced himself on her. When she did not comply, he beat her up and then really raped her. This is not a white conquistador or just simply, white people. These are conquistadores blancos y negros y judíos, güey. And Arabs as well, because they were considered Moors too. So we see white conquistadors, Negro, North African, West African conquistadors, Arab considered more conquistadors, Jewish as well conquistadors. Do you understand that now? Do you understand how fucked up this shit is? Do you understand why I don't mind when people show up to my channel and watch it and then all of a sudden they get offended because I say what I say? I'm not here to tickle your feelings. I'm here to prove a point. This is not a white nationalist channel or Hebrew Tolchai chart channel. This is a channel where I teach who we are, what we've been through, how it relates to the Bible, and that you may just be those people that this book talks about. If these so-called Jews were the chosen people of God, why the fuck do they do this to us? Are they not being reported that they've been doing this to Gaza too? The children in Gaza were being raped as well? Once again, como pago de una deuda de juego, el propio Colón, Jewish, me ofreció una magnífica esclava caribe de 11 años. Cuando quise ejercer mi derecho sobre ella, comenzó a gritar y se me resistió. Mírale, como decir, esa cabrona, ¿qué le pasa, güey? Tuve entonces que disciplinarla con mi látigo y forzarla. Once he beat her up, he raped the 11-year-old girl. This is what you Jewish, white, and black conquistadors did when you came to our continent in 1492. And this is the only channel that fucking tells you that shit. Because you can go to another channel and they'll point their fingers at each other. But they never will point it at themselves. It's too harsh. It's just too harsh to really embrace, you know? Like you guys were part of rapists. Like that's your fucking root here in America. Like that's your root. El propio Cristóbal Colón escribió en una carta fechada en el 15 de febrero de 1493, dice, pueden ver sus altazas que yo les daré oro cuanto hubieran menester, y esclavos cuantos mandaran cargar, y serán de los idólatras. Y cuando mandaré que yo les envíe esclavos, espero yo de los traer o enviar de estos la mayor parte. Brother, do you believe that we Mexica or Toltecas come from the Issachar or Tola? I mean, no, we're here. You know, I believe all of us are here. I believe all the tribes are here. I don't believe that Mexicas are Issachar predominantly. That I don't believe that, because that's 12 type chart theory concept, and not all of us can really manifest that. To be honest with you, like I work hard, bro. Like, you know what I mean. But I'm not like busting my back and shit. You know, I'm not like a fucking burro. So it's like it's not necessarily them, because that's what they use. Now, I will tell you this. This is something that 12 type chart people don't push, and I don't know why. But if you look at how the tabernacle was set up, it was Issachar, Judah, and I believe Zebulon that were together facing the entrance of the tabernacle. Okay, because the tribes basically camped all around it. So I look at like, why was Issachar connected next to Judah and Zebulon? And if you see like those particular types of tribes surrounded by Judah, that means that, you know, they're not necessarily studiers of astrology, you know, like of wisdom. So yeah, you know, I don't disagree. I mean, if you're like, I'll say it like this: if you want to consider yourself a Issacharite, by all means do, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't consider myself one, but that doesn't mean I'm not a Hebrew of the 12. Like, I do consider myself one of the 12. I just don't agree with all Mexicans are Issachar, because we have a lot of variety. You know what I'm saying? Up and down, we migrated, moved back and forth. If we believe in migration, then that means that it's hard to dictate where the tribes are at, to be honest with you. Then it says, pueden ver su... Oh, no, I already read that. All right, so now let's go to the next page real quick. Let me see. This one's another one. Oh, here goes. Let's see. Finalmente, en el poder otorgado por Colón a Jeremío de Aguirre Aguirre el 31 de octubre de 1497, se escribe: Don Cristóbal Colón, tengo cargo por sus altezas de las dichas indias, de las cosas de ellas necesarias, de las cuales algunas veces he enviado algunos mercaderías, oro y plata y esclavos. So yeah, Numbers 26-23, and the sons of Issachar after the families of Tola, the family of Tolites, or Pua, the family of Punites. Let me see. Let me read it over here. Verse 23, 26. It says, and the sons of Issachar are after their families of Tola, the family of Tolites, of Pua, the family of Punites. Yeah, I don't disagree necessarily. I think Job was a Issachar, and I can't remember, to be honest, the verses. It's been so long since I even touched on that. But I think Job was an Issacharite. Anyways, let me continue reading. It says here, bajo el anterior marcó el preciso comprender el hecho histórico acontecido el 12 de octubre de 1492, no como el día del descubrimiento de América o el encuentro de dos mundos, sino como el día que inició la larga lucha de resistencia y dignidad indígena. You see that? That's a beautiful statement right there. It wasn't the discovery of America. It was the initiation of our resistance and struggle and dignity of our indigenous roots. Fueron infinitas las gentes que yo vi quemar vivas y despedazar y atormentar por diversas y nuevas maneras de muertes. Let me remind you, you non-believers. No, that's not a book. Sounds fine to me. I don't care whether you believe it or not, but I know this for a fact. If it was fake, then why does it say this right here? Deuteronomy 28:50, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. A fierce nation from afar did all this to our people. From the end of the earth, with the sign of an eagle that spoke another language. If this is a fake book, man, I mean, shit, bro. We experienced that. Fueron infinitas las gentes que yo vi quemar, vivas, Now, why did that happen to us? You think it was, oh, well, that's because people come and conquer? No, bro. They've been fighting each other for ages over there. They didn't destroy all their history. No, they, like, for example, when the North Africans and Moors, Arabs all went from the land of Arabia all across North Africa and invaded Spain, they didn't demolish the castles of Spain or the buildings. No, they made it better. When the Spaniards and Portuguese and all these Visigoths got it back or went to Africa, they didn't destroy Africa. They kind of helped it. When you motherfuckers came here, you destroyed everything. If we weren't that significant, why go through the trouble of not letting us learn anything other than Diez Mandamientos, el Credo, Padre Ave María, Padre Nuestro, all that? So it says here, la esclavitud en América incluye la esclavización de parte de la población indígena a partir del descubrimiento de América y la importación posterior a América de esclavos capturados en África subsahariana. See? That's how you guys came here. Africans, wobbles. Please stop. Stop wasting your time. Or show up and hit the link. Now, it was extremely important to me that, at least we know where we stand. And I'm going to show this to y'all. This is a video I did a while ago. Had a month ago, right? And I was sitting back at who. And again, family, nobody ever bugs me in my channel. Nobody ever wants to debunk my shit. No BHI, no FOPI, no Sakari or ex-Sakari, no GMS, no ISUPK, no IUIC. Nobody messes with my channel because they know better. They know better. Okay? Now, I showed this video to y'all, me no Hebrew, right? And I got it finally back. Now, here's the interesting part. You see this video here? It's not on YouTube anymore. This video here is not on YouTube anymore, fam. They took it out. I looked for it. This is part of the class. I wanted to just show the video. I didn't want to show my video before. But then when I hit the link, it's gone. It's completely gone. So I'm going to play it right now. It's about 3 minutes. Because again, I've shared a lot of information with y'all. Well, I mean, look, this is 3 minutes. And I'll see if I maybe play a little bit more because there's some info that I left out. Right at this point, I did share that book already with y'all. So I may not even let it go that far. There's this video that I want to share with you maybe. And then this Nexus book here, I'll skip that. Matter of fact, I'll do that. I'll just kind of, once this video ends here, I'll skip the book part and I'll go here, okay? So just check it out. And look, he says it himself. I'm not saying this. They're saying it. He's admitting it. Like, nah, bro. Like, yeah, you're right. We are Khazars. Y'all stick with your, with your wicked ass, like, weird ass beliefs, man. After so many years of reading and reading and reading, it's just you can't just easily believe. Excuse me. Believe people because of their emotions. You can't do that.
But DNA tests.
It's not anti-Semitic. It's a question of fact. So Shlomo Sand, for example, has argued that, I think probably exaggerated, but it's simply a question of fact. If my ancestors from the Ukraine have Khazar roots, changes nothing. I'm Jewish. My grandfather was Jewish. My family happens to have a story saying that we're descended from the Baal Shem Tov. Okay, that's part of the culture. Doesn't matter what the DNA shows. We live, this is a point that Ahad Ha'am made over a century ago, and his lectures on the two Moseses. He says, yes, there's a Moses of history.
Listen to what he says. The two Moseses, okay? The Moses of history, meaning the Bible, and the Moses that they invented.
Who may have existed, may not have existed. There's a Moses of culture, and that exists as a cultural phenomenon. And it's the cultural phenomenon within our cultural tradition, whoever Moses might have been, and if he even existed. Yes, that's true. We live in a world of cultural traditions.
So basically, he's saying, even if Moses was real or not, we don't know. But we are those people now. You know, that Moses story attaches to us, not you guys. Especially not people that look like you right there. Hell no. Y'all beaners, wetbacks, and spicks, you cannot ever be. Not even close to the people of God. No way did he choose you. No way. Hell no. Like, you see yourselves? Look at you guys. Isn't that what they say, fam? Isn't that what Wabo say? Isn't that what Fopi types say? Black only say? Isn't that what fucking white nationalists say? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that what Christians really say? And they don't really say it.
Makes no difference what the DNA says. So, okay, if the DNA says we're not descended from the Baal Shem Tov, hence back to King David, but we're descended from somebody in the Caucasus, makes absolutely no difference to our identity. We should stop this silly game altogether. It's maybe of some scholarly historical interest, but of no significance for the modern world. The modern world is the cultural entities that we're part of, okay? Social and cultural entities. And so we should throw all that aside. They can play with it in biology labs in Israel where they're intent on showing something absurd. But we live in this world with its own cultural, social, political structures. And in this world, I'm Jewish, no matter what the DNA shows.
You see that right there? No, how else can you say it? What better way for you to say it is but to put it that way? So I guess that's a good way to put it, fam. I'm living this life not expecting for any of that to change. I mean, like, things have to like finish before they can get started. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, when you want to plant a tree and you haven't planted a tree in a long time, right? You got to go in that that dirt. You know, you got to break all that ground. First, you got to wet it a little bit. Maybe if you got water, make it easier. You got to, twist. You got to turn that dirt and then get rid of all those, them rocks and clay matter, all that shit that gets in the way of the roots getting rooted. So that means it's going to have to be a total reconstruction of some shit. Like he said, in this world, they are those people.
There is an actual existing world in Israel-Palestine. I've already reviewed briefly what it is. Sharp discrimination against Palestinians within Israel, illegal settlements in occupied West Bank, destruction of Gaza. Those are the major phenomena we have to deal with. And there are ways to deal with them. And talking about what happened in the Bible is not going to help.
Yeah. So technically he's saying, I don't even really believe that. That's what he's saying. Now, I'm not going to play this guy much, or I'm not really going to play this guy, but he's defending the argument, right? So he's saying Sephardics, all these people here, blah, 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 Ashkenazis. That's why Shlomo Sands completely debunks their whole entire doctrine. Oh, yeah. Nah, I don't want to share that. That's a little long-winded. I mean, it does show one book. I do show one book here. But I'll Let's see. Let me move ahead. Oh, all right. So let me show you this video here, and then I'm going to show you another book.
Belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has how or general education use.
Book from some fucking random person. No, sir. Conquest.
To open a new route to Asia. Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only two ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent, the journey takes a year, or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a third way. By sailing west across the ocean sea.
The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
How can you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Esdras, is that you?
So what's worse?
2 minutes, and already you're a dead man.
For telling the truth?
Yes. We are burning people for less. The men you're about to confront have no emotion.
You see that? Making sense now, huh? Making sense now? Making sense now? I hope so. I hope so. Because in case you guys don't know, remember it says here that he spoke Hebrew to us. How do we know that? Be like, how do you? You just said it, brother. It ain't nothing. Okay. How do we know that? Okay, I'm gonna show you how we know that. I'm gonna go more into this book more often now, family, more as we move forward. And this is one that I have. It's an awesome book. The Nux's spoken language: the links between the Maya and the Semitic during pre-Columbian times by David Allen Deal. You cannot deny you can't deny this shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny this shit, dude. Sorry. You can't debunk this. You just can't. You know what I mean? And I'm also going to show you, you know what I'm saying? I'm also going to show you some stuff. Because unless you can debunk this, then maybe it makes sense. But nah, you can't. You can't touch this. It says here on page 14. Oh, I thought I had page 13 already. Hold on, let me see. Page 13. Well, I'll read you page 14. The other ones will come up. It says here, page 14. Okay. It says the Bible has it that the forefather of the people of Israel and Judah, one people, two lordships, was a man called Jacob, Yaakov, later surnamed Israel. His name is based on the Hebrew prime root Akab, meaning to supplant, as he was to supplant his elder brother Esau. Were you an Israelite of the time, you could refer to him as Baal Yaakov, Lord Jacob. If you were referring to his immediate family or his successors, you might say to him Baalim Yaakov, Lords of Jacob. To carry this idea a bit further, had you followed the common Hebrew practice of dropping a first vowel of name, Yitzhak, Sak, Abram, Brahman, Jacob, Akab, you would have vocalized Baalim Akab, which, as you can see, is the name of the Maya father, patriarch of the Popol Vuh fame. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you this. So here, I wish I had the other picture. I'll look for it. The Popol Vuh states that Balaam Kitse, upon his having a presentiment of his death, left a symbol of his being. It was a monk called Pisong Akal, I guess, or Pisong Gagal. I guess that's a Hebrew name. But hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick, because I don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss that. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get that page for you. Let me fast forward it real quick, all right? Because again, I'm trying to show you something that I left out. Maya forefather mentioned in all the Mayan titulos. Get that page for you, fam. Because I did write it down. Okay, here it goes right here. 76. All right, so here it goes right here. So Balaam Akab, right? Balaam Akab, Maya forefather, mentioned in all the Mayan titulos involved in the ancient events on the other side of the sea in Tulan. I want you to keep that in mind. Quechuan Civilization, page 273, 287. It says in Hebrew, Ba'alim Akab. Yeah, says this is it. YouTube blocked it. So I'm playing the most important parts. Matter of fact, there's a section where I kind of took a long time trying to find what I was looking for, and I didn't really read the important part. So I'm just gonna trim that out and then read it to you guys. You know what I'm saying? So look, man. I'm sorry, not saying you, says man. Look, for all you guys that are listening to this channel, I'm dedicated to what I'm doing. Nobody pays me. There's no narrative. I don't have a church. I don't have a group. I talk to brothers on the phone often. I've been talking to you brothers now. You guys can confirm it if you're listening for over 2 years now. Most of y'all. You understand? And that's how I've been able to build my community again, or at least what they should be calling themselves community as well. And Lord willing, one day, man, we can make it actually like fruitful, because I have one brother that we're talking about, purchasing land someday. Now, are those things going to be to manifest themselves like right now? No, we're not being silly. We're building. Who knows what's going to occur? So right now, I'm just showing you. All we're doing right now is showing you our roots. Hebrew is not too far from our people. And when you look at what it's about, it's all about order. See, this is where you natives and shit, and I'm gonna call you yantas and shit. You yantas, this is why you yantas don't get it, bro. This is about order, bro. That's the whole point. Like, do you guys not realize? Hey, look, hey, look, it's back. Okay, I'll tell you what. Like, I got a little bit of patience. Let's do that now. Since you feeling froggy, you got something to say? Let's do it. Since you say I'm a fraud, so prove to me where I'm a fraud. Let's see. Our people, the MESHIACHA, Noah did exist. They knew him as Noah. Yeah, there's a Theomotzli, the Divine Book of Moses. Soon you shall be given a paycheck for doing the will of the dead black froghead. What? The dead black froghead? What are you talking about, Wesley? What are you saying, you white nationalist prick? What are you saying, you secret pedo or homo, whatever whatever secret you're dealing with? And the amount of your paycheck is $32,523. You mean like deported or some shit? Like you? Oh my god, y'all are silly, dude. Hey, Wesley, listen. You can come try to do it yourself. How about that, Wesley? Come try to do it yourself. Stop the bullshit. I don't understand why you guys. This is not a political channel, man. Like you guys don't understand like the background of some of our people. Like I didn't grow up with no silver fucking spoon, Wesley. See, there it goes right there. See, dude, you are a typical Esau, man. You're just like Esau, bro. Like you're no different. Wesley the third is back, exactly, bro. Wait, remember him? No. Well, I see it was probably because somebody might have blocked him. So, like, I have some moderators. So you guys might have blocked him, but I can see it on my line, on my side. So you guys can't see it. It says, "Sure, Jesus, remove the hedge from the head tongue for a moment." Jesus? Who's talking about your Jesus? Well, nobody's talking about your Jesus, bro. Listen, worshippers of Odin, Valhalla, whatever the hell it is, bro. It don't matter to me what you do. You said now you're going to thank Jesus, okay? And shut his left eye and left ear for a minute. Also, all watching, thank you. I'm glad. Fraud is a very silly Naya speaker. Oh, so I honestly think Wesley is interpreting a white image. That's my take on it. But I don't know, Warakuya. I know that you have an idea of Wesley and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's back. At least, hey, guys, Wesley's watching. Okay, so let's give him a hand of applause. Hey, you're back, Wesley. Now shut the fuck up and learn. Is that when people bring this out to you, right? It says that blessings for obedience. Blessings for obedience. Let's just say, for example, that if you are obedient to your, that's all I wanted to show in the video. Okay, so at least we're clear on that. And again, it's all about, like, you know, what apparently is not available no more. You know, fuck, man, I don't know. Let me show you guys something real quick. I really like this video. I think I can find it. Maybe I won't. I didn't find it. Oh, no. Where you at, bro? Where you at? Oh, okay. Here it goes right here. Here it goes right here. There it goes right here. That was the one. My bad. I put it in the wrong place.
La Virgen de Guadalupe no bajó del cielo. Fue el invento más divino del imperio para someter con fe a los mexicas, aztecas, otomis, chichimecas, etc.
Wesley, if you want to be that cracker barrel, by all means, you're invited to be the cracker barrel of the world. Oh, he's a fucking Spaniard? Fucking shit. You mulatto piece of shits. You're worse. Let's go.
But nevertheless, it's interesting to see that they were so focused and so interested in the Hebrew scriptures that they wanted to found the country based on its dictates. The Hebrew language was also very popular. It was very popular in the place of higher education in those days. And in fact, until today, on the old universities, Harvard and Yale, the Ivy League schools, you can see God's name or various other words written in Hebrew on the seals, the emblems of the schools. At the time of the American Revolution, interest in Hebrew was so widespread that members of Congress proposed that Hebrew be the official language of this country. He says that the Puritans, the early settlers, when they emigrated from England, they looked at themselves as reenacting, as paralleling the Jewish people leaving the oppressive Egypt. England was the oppressive, slave-driven society of Egypt. The king of England was the new Pharaoh. The Atlantic Ocean was the Red Sea that they were now crossing through. And America, the new promised land, the new Israel. They were the new Israelites that wanted to establish a new covenant with God in the new promised land.
So let's go to the exploration of America. How is America a Jewish project? The whole idea of the separation of church and state, where did that come from? Well, that's also a Marano project. persecuted by the church, some of these persecuted people said, wait a minute, maybe religion and state should be two different things. At its exploration, America came out of a Hebraic project, desire to go back to what once was, in the time of the Bible, a Hebrew republic.
Kabbalah was an ancient mystery tradition that Jews adopted in Egypt and then brought to Palestine and incorporated into Judaism. And this is why Solomonic knowledge, which often, of course, is extolled in Freemasonry, is seen as a kind of Egyptian knowledge.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Is the Abrahamic legend.
And get a great big missile and blow that wicked dome of the rock plumb off of the spot where it's standing right now, so we can get that third temple rebuilt and usher in the coming of Jesus.
The golden age of America begins right now.
A destructive force of 85,000 tons of explosive.
New Pope's prayer at the Vatican, his translator claimed Mary to be God.
And let us ask for this special grace from Mary, our God.
After all, who can blame the translator, since many Catholics, if not all, literally worship Mary?
The worship of any other than the true and living God is to worship a demon. You don't get to God by making an idol and doing the best you can.
The Roman Catholic Church teachings and doctrines will not lead you to believe otherwise, because they elevate Mary at the level of deity.
If her eyes are upon you, your salvation is assured. Now, think what that means. It means if she turns her gaze from you, you're toast.
That's what I'm telling you, man. Y'all created the damn Virgin Mary stupidity, bro. And you still believe it. You still believe it. I got some scriptures to reach out. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let me show you this real quick. This goes to Curly Sue over there. What's his name again? Wesley Snipes. The light-skinned Wesley Snipes. The link is there, man. Y'all always try to feel froggy and shit, and you never want to step up. I don't know why. I don't bite, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I need to show you this to y'all, man. This is beautiful. Let me give you guys some real important verses I think we should be able to understand. I think he's had enough, dude. I think William Curry and shit, or curry food, or curry with the extra spice, had enough. Wesley, the light-skinned Snipes. Let me go to Isaiah, not Sirach. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1, it says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins. That just means that I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to let my people know what happened, because that is our job. And as long as you guys keep worshiping these damn idols like it is, then it's going to continue. I know y'all think it's a joke, but it's not. Sirach chapter 3, verse 29. It says, the heart of the prudent will understand a parable, and an attentive ear is the desire of a wise man. So if you have some kind of wisdom, you will actually sit back and say, hey, man, I might have been wrong on that. Maybe he may be right or wrong. You know what I mean? But at least you reflect. An intelligent man or woman should be able to reflect and say, I think I was wrong. Prudence. It requires that. Because it's prudente, güey. Got to think about things. You can't just like Wesley Snipes Curry. Showed up out of nowhere. Like, he hasn't been here in ages, and then he just wants to just make stupid comments. Like, what the fuck, bro? Cracker Barrel, typically. Damn Spaniards. Damn rapist. Proverbs 14:8 says, the wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way. That's self-reflection. That's like, yo, what am I doing? What am I, how am I moving? As far as I can say, family, my house is good. Other than, internal issues that we all deal with, I guess. Certain spirits that we're like getting rid of finally. But other than that, I can't complain. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his ways. The only way that I got here was by doing that first. But the folly of the fool is deceit. So, chicken curry, like the brother said, or Wesley Snipes, just come in here with stupid talk, thinking that you're going to deceive people. Like, we're over that, bro. Like, that shit don't work no more. Like, Ave Maria, Padre Nuestro, Diez Mandamientos, like, that's not the only things we're able to read now. We can fucking read now. We can read now. I know it might not mean nothing to y'all, but it means everything to me. Psalms 44:20 reads, it says, if we have forgotten the name of our God, hold on a second, is this it? Yeah, if we have forgotten the name of our God, or stretched out our hands to a strange God, shall not God search this out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart. So there are some of us that forgot And not necessarily stretching our hand to go towards others, but by folly, by mistake, not knowing who we are, we went into other religions like, oh, Catholic, whatever. Some of y'all were Protestants. Some of y'all were Jehovah's Witness. The brothers I talked to, because we were all searching for him. We're searching for an answer. Like, what? Why are we here? What's the point? Psalm 77 and verse 6. I want to leave you guys with some thought here. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with mine own heart. In my spirit made diligent search. That's self-reflection. That's also you doing what I'm doing, so to speak. Maybe not as intense, or maybe even more intense than me. But that's what it's calling. Call to remembrance. My song. When you're alone, like what you married men, separate from your, like when you're alone, not next to your wife, not with your kids, when you are alone, what is your song? What do you yearn for? What are you asking for? What are you looking for? I commune with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search. This is what the Most High is requiring of you. Self-reflection, searching who you are according to your forefathers, like Job 8:8 says. Search and seek. You made the diligent search. My spirit made the diligent search. That's why when it talks about, I think in Sirach 44 or Second Ezra, I don't know which one it is. I can't remember right now. Where it talks about drinking that cup, and he drank it and poured it, and like all of a sudden, like his memory strengthened. That's the same thing. That's like repenting, self-search, soul searching, so to speak. Some people call that shit, right? Some people call it that. It's like I've said it in this channel so many times. If you want to get to know the Most High, you got to get to know yourself. If you have that connection with the Creator, you're not. I'm not saying you're God. What I'm saying is you need to cleanse all your shit out of you before you can even communicate with Him like that. Psalms 139, chapter 23. Watch what it says. It says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts." So that's when you're like, listen, man, I'm not afraid of me anymore. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. What is my purpose here? Why do I go through what I go through? Let me know, because I'm here to finally fucking admit it. I don't know about you Christians and all of you whatever BHIs. Like, I don't know how you guys deal with your shit. But this is real talk when it comes to the scriptures here. So Proverbs 52 and 5. I'm sorry, 52. 20. Maybe I'm dyslexic now? What the hell? Proverbs 25 and 2. Man, I saw the numbers backwards. Proverbs 25 and 2, it says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honors of a king is to search out the matter." You see? So these things that we've been missing has been concealed for quite some time. But you as a king needs to search out these matters, just like you need to search out your own matter of yourself. This doesn't happen by sitting back and yelling at people and saying, "F you, I'm a Hebrew." I don't work like that. There's actually fucking work involved in this shit here. There's work involved. And for all you guys that claim or believe that, this isn't it. Look, if you think that you came to some channel and we go around saying, "I can't wait to enslave you, Ak. I can't wait to have a bunch of women, Ak. I can't wait to have power, Ak," you're in the wrong channel. That is not what is being told here. Before you can even have any of that, you need to self-reflect. If you want to have a communication with the Creator, you need to look at you. And a lot of you guys and girls don't want to do that because you're a piece of shits, because you're horrible people. And it's too embarrassing to admit that to yourselves. So you want to go around and say, "No, I don't have a problem. I'm good." Well, good for you. That's not what we do here. That's not what the scriptures are even asking for. So I leave y'all with that thought, man. 2 hours, I think it was enough. Lord willing, I can do another class. I don't think tomorrow, maybe Monday. I'm going to try to get another one in on Monday. I hope so. You know what I'm saying? At least I hope so. But you have to take these things into consideration. Job 8:8 talks about that. Look, Job 8:8 says this. It says, "For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age." Here, let me simplify it for you, simpletons. Look for a moment at ancient wisdom. Consider the truth our ancestors learned. Let's just say you ain't a Hebrew, fine, but do your research of who you are. Don't try to steal the heritage of others because what you found out about sucks. Sorry. It is what it is. You know what I mean? You can't change reality. Deuteronomy 32:7 says, "Think of the past, of the time long ago. Ask your parents to tell you what happened. Ask the old people to tell you the past." Why do you think when these foreigners came in 1492, they made sure to get rid of the old and the young? Meaning the fighters and the wise. Deuteronomy 28:48, I'll finish with that. "So then you will serve the enemies that the Lord is going to send against you. You will be hungry, thirsty, and naked." Hungry for knowledge, thirsty because nobody is giving it to you, and naked like as in stupid because you don't know where to turn. Church, Christianity, Protestantism, white nationalism. Testing. Yeah, the sound went off. My bad, fam. Maybe I was a little too powerful for the live. Verse 48. "So then you will serve the enemies that the Lord is going to send against you. You will be hungry." Hungry for what? For knowledge. Thirsty because nobody's giving it to you, and naked because you're fucking going into every single space that ain't going to provide it for you. Indeed, in need of everything. The Lord will oppress you harshly until you are destroyed. You know what destroyed means? Like I said before, and I could even talk about it in Hosea. Matter of fact, I'll just end it with this right here. I'll end it with this, I promise. I'll end it with this. Hosea 10 talks about what happened to our people. So then here in Hosea 10:12, it says this: "Sow yourselves in righteousness." No, I'm sorry, no. In verse 10, "It is my desire that I should chastise them, and the people shall be gathered against them when they shall bind themselves in their two furrows." Meaning, like, if you're a farmer or if you ever planted anything, furrows are like those lines where, like you put the seed in, right? "Ephraim is a heifer that is taught and loveth to tread out the corn, but I pass over her fair neck. I will make Ephraim to ride. Judah shall plow." And together, basically, that's why it says Jacob shall break his clods. When you need to harvest or plant something, a tree, plant whatever, you got to get rid of that clay under the dirt, like rocks, all of that, or else the root will not root itself. Do you understand? "Sow yourself in righteousness, reap in mercy. Break up that fallow ground." That fallow ground is basically a dry brain, a destroyed spirit, destroyed, dry spirit. "For it is time to seek the Lord till he come and rain righteousness upon you, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Nor will you be hungry or thirsty anymore," because someone's going to provide some of this information. Like, bro, how come these people are lying? How come they never say this about us? How come they held this stuff back? Right. "Ye have plowed wickedness, ye have reaped iniquity, ye have eaten the fruits of lies." What? Christianity, Virgen Maria. Now they have a fucking wicked one. What do they call it? Muerte and shit? Like, come on, man. It's for real. Whatever religions that these foreigners have within themselves, that's their prerogative, not ours. Because thou didn't trust in the ways and in the multitude of thy mighty men. Therefore shall a tumult arise among thy people, and all thy fortresses shall be spoiled. You see this? It says here that you have to be unfortunately destroyed before you can come back together. And that's kind of the fact about a lot of things. It's like, if you want to, let's say, for example, I don't know, if you want to refurbish a car, right? If you do the body work, you got to take the paint off. You got to sand it down and use some tools that is going to completely make it look like, what the hell did I just do? Primer, they call it, right? Whatever. I don't know about that shit. But anyways, look, before I continue, I've had enough. Family, 2 hours, man. I think that's enough. I hope y'all appreciate the breakdown, the at least the hidden secrets. We're gonna continue with part 2. You'll see this hidden secrets part 2 because I'm not done. What I basically just did with y'all right now, I only went through about 4 because I keep notes of the things that I want to talk about, and I only went through maybe a quarter of what I wanted to talk about. So this is going to be like a 2-3 day type of session. So I hope you guys can appreciate it. I'll try to do part 2 next week. I have other topics to talk about, but I think that this is something that we need to continue because I'm going to go deep into some of the similarities about our people, the connection, and, again, reflect. If this applies to you, amen, all praises to the Most High. If you don't agree, nobody's forcing you to. You can go skedaddle, whatever the hell you want to do and believe. I don't care at all. What I care about is those people that do resonate with this information and maybe have the energy to do the research and confirm it for yourselves. Because this is not a channel where I want you to fucking learn this shit and regurgitate it like a dumbass. I need you to really, really embrace this and let it simmer into your spirit and say, yes, this is it. All right, fam. Good night. Hope y'all enjoyed it. See y'all next week. Well, that's crazy, family. I don't understand what is going on with this video here. Wow. Thank you, brother, for sharing that with me. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. This is crazy, bro. Yeah, but still, man, there's a message to my madness. Thank you, bro, for sharing that with me, man. That shit is whack. Good night. Hey, and thank you, bro. Hey, by the way, I'm gonna call you. Maybe I won't call you tonight, bro, but I might call you later on. If not, I'll call you tomorrow. I want to talk about something. All right, VTC. All right, cool.
Estamos aquí, oye, que estamos aquí. Mírame, estamos aquí. Desde hace rato, cuando ustedes llegaron, ya estaban las huellas de nuestros zapatos. Se robaron hasta la comida de gato y todavía se están lamiendo el plato. Bien encabronados con estos ingratos. Hoy le doy duro a los tambores hasta que me acusen de maltrato. Si no entiendes el dato, pues te lo tiro en cumbia, bossa nova, tango o vallenato. A lo Calaboy y bambú, bien frontú, con sangre caliente como Timbuktu. Estamos dentro del menú. Tupac se llama Tupac por Tupac Amaru del Perú. América no es solo USA, papá. Esto es desde Tierra del Fuego hasta Canadá. Hay que ser bien bruto, bien hueco. Es como decir que África es solo Marruecos. Estos canallas se les olvidó que el calendario que usan se lo inventaron los mayas con la Valdivia precolombina. Desde hace tiempo, este continente camina, pero ni con toda la marina pueden sacar de la vitrina la peste campesina. Esto va para el capataz de la empresa. El machete no es solo para cortar caña, también es para cortar cabeza.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerdes. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerdes. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Los paramilitares, las guerrillas, los hijos del conflicto, las pandillas, las listas negras, los falsos positivos, los periodistas asesinados, los desaparecidos, los narcogobiernos, todos los que robaron, los que se manifiestan y los que se olvidaron, las persecuciones, los golpes de estado, el país en quiebra, los exiliados, el peso devaluado, el tráfico de droga, los carteles, las invasiones, los emigrantes sin papeles, 5 presidentes en 11 días, disparo a quemarropa por parte de la policía, más de 100 años de tortura, la nova trova cantando en plena dictadura. Somos la sangre que sopla la presión atmosférica. Gambino, mi hermano, esto sí es América.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerdes. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerdes. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Mexicano bandido, todo el barrio prendido. Siempre ando bien cuido, siempre poniendo ruido. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, yo defiendo mi tierra. No me dejo de nadie, yo cuido a los míos, mi raza se aferra. Soy
donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera.
Me voy tendido, me voy empinando mi bote. Un poco mareado por la bebida y el borlote. Me tiene hasta la riata la gente con su mitote. Pero me despreocupo, me pelan todo el garrote. Me para la chota, ya es por mi apariencia. Que hay tantos delitos, que hay tanta demencia. Yo no cargo nada, no más mi presencia. Pinche puerco joto, atente a las consecuencias. Si no topa el poli en breve nos para en la calle. No puede salir uno conmigo porque ya hay detalle. No quiere que conteste, quiere que yo solo calle. Quiere mi dinero pero que chinga su madre. A la dica este sistema nos quieren ver abajo. Pero tumbar gente, quien les dijo que es trabajo. Puro chingar al indio, váyanse mucho al carajo. Loco no me rajo, lo bueno porque
se armó la alianza más pesada del país. Todo el mundo ya conoce las rimas de estos MCs. Pa' ponerme más feliz, unos paisas de hachís. Mis paisas en el gabacho, bien truchas con la polis. Loco en Guanajuato, con los ojos bien tumbados. De coto con el quesada, rifando por todos lados. Atento si prendo un blunt en cabina cuando grabo. Represento Nuevo León, junto a mi carnal el Davo. Cuando voy pa' Jalisco, el pasado está olvidado. Con el perro de la C, bien grifo, pedo y enfiestado. Chécate mi banderón, unido como había soñado. Bien bajado ese balón, compa lefty bien bajado. Puro hip hop mexa, hasta que amanezca. Pásenme un mezcal y que no se apague la yesca. Ya saben que aquí andamos pilas pa' lo que se ofrezca. Si escribo estas rimas es pa' que se enorgullezca.
verde marihuana, blanca cocaína, roja la sangre que escurre de una nueva herida. Yo salí de la ruina, nunca se me olvida. Con disciplina y respeto sigo en siempre la movida. Ando bien high, la vida es un freestyle. Disfruta lo que hay, vivo entre el bien y el mal, carnal. Crazy life todo el día, vienda live. Pinto tu barda con spray, lo que canto es real. Azules y rojas las sirenas que me persiguen. No suben pa' la virgen, salen todos cuando chifle. Mi barrio no lo pisen, que andamos todos grises. Maldito policía, no quiero que me revises. Prende la mota en Canala o en Hitter. Ando con mi flota y el dealer. Tenemos lo que se te ofrezca, tú nada más pide. Me dijo mi madre que de la envidia me cuide.
Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera.
Ya, ábranse cabrones, llegó el mexicano partiendo sin necesidad de palancas. Todos jugamos en la misma liga, yo soy titular, tú ves desde la banca. Disfruto cada cosa que me pasa, colaboro y mi carrera se levanta. El mismo cabrón que antes no tenía nada, se la pasa viajando y dice que canta. Por eso me caga enfermarme de la garganta. Pero aguanta, traigo mata natural y humo de planta. 2, 3 cabrones dando lata y yo haciendo más plata. De esto la vida se trata y pa' que sepas no es barata. MC Davo los desbarata con cada escalón que sube. Yo tuve la suerte de hacerme fama en YouTube. Hay 2, 3 raperos de antaño que me bajé de su nube. Los mandé pa' su casa y de premio hasta les pagué el Uber. Si alguien me tira es porque sabe bien que domino el negocio y quiere de mi parte. No quiero darlas de grande, pero si me tiras la neta me toca humillarte. Soy capitán, llevo el estandarte. Somos muy pocos los que hacemos arte. Este flow si es de Marte, tú dale like y comparte.
México lindo y bandido, diario a Diosito le pido que me cuide a la familia si un día el cora ya no late. Estoy bendecido porque me cuidan los míos. Orgullosamente me exatamos locos de remate. Jaque mate, no hable de volar si viene gateando. La cosa por la frontera se pone violenta, no importa el rango. Toda la raza jalándole duro, si hay algo seguro es la muerte en donde ando. El sudor y la sangre en la frente, los de alzada controlando. Se roban la atención, ya saben quiénes son. Vatos locos con sazón como el de un corridón. No quiera tomarme el pelo si ando todo pelón. Levantando la bandera, viva México cabrón. Es el perrito de la selva.
La bandera con un águila, Simón, mi tierra es esta. Me vale si mi piel o si mi acento les molesta. Acá jalan horas extras, nunca duermen la siesta. Están los que van pa'l jale y los que la viven de fiesta. Otros que en el pintón se tatúan de corazón. 3 colores en el pecho, morirían por su nación. Aunque su puto gobierno los puso en la situación de no terminar la escuela y terminar en la prisión. ¡Viva México! México ladrones. ¿Qué hubo, les presidente? Ya saben que por mí policías chinguen a 20. Y ahí están mis 20 pa' la cagua. Aguas, que es tierra caliente de Chiapas hasta Chihuahua. Wow, 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 yipi-yo, yipi-yucas. Guanas, Montegreen, Aguas, Tijuas y San Lucas. San Luis Potoyes, Mataulipas, La Puebluca. Dime si o no, loco, acá tienen lo que buscas.
Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera. Soy mexicano, esa es mi bandera. Yo la levanto por donde quiera. Verde, blanco, rojo hasta que muera. El barrio prendido ya quemó afuera.
Puro hip hop mexa, perros, 2023.
Ey yo, ey yo.
Somos la santa carnal.
Ey, los machidones de la plaza.
Oye, DJ Dunde que en los scratches. Desde alzada, mi perro. No saben quién soy o sí. Oye.
Chicanos killing Chicanos is what they want. Blacks and Chicanos killing each other is what they want. That's how they run this place. Once we get together, they don't run shit. You got a lot to learn about being Chicano.
Yeah, Alcatraz, midget loco. Yeah. They never seen this coming, man. What up, Loon? What up, Oreo? 500 years of captivity. What else? Now they trying to tell us how we supposed to be, how we supposed to act, how we supposed to rap. How I'm brown but my flow too black. Come on, y'all kidding me, right? Nike Air Flights fitted cock back fresh. Representando Mexicanos on the map. No estoy jugando, got bars like I battle on Smack. But hold on, I'ma bring it right back. My people indigenous. I'm not sure if you getting this. By the time I'm done, you gon' be feeling this. I come from the people they call MESHIACHA. I've been to the motherland, Chichen Itza. Seen the Mayan ruins, intellectual architects. Been in the cenote, seen ancient artifacts. Really? Cali is Mexico, those are the facts. They raped women, gave elders heart attacks. It was a battle, our people were outgunned. Took life and cattle, we were outdone. However, 2 wars proudly we take to the grave. Those we call our Independence Day. It's time to stand up, educate our people. Stay on our ground, let them know that we equal. We see your plan, but your plan is see-through. You can't stop my people. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm holding it down.
Yeah. Story with Mexicans, Mexicano. Gave birth to the word that we know as Chicanos. Aztec warrior, man, it's all in my blood. From the Tenochtitlan, that's the heart of the love. Now I'm Mexico City, that's a modern day name. Don't let the books confuse you to be a modern day slave. Gotta get your facts right and study the culture. Don't be like Cortez, he came like a vulture. Came to just steal and take away the land. He seen what we got and he was like, damn, who would've guessed it had to be a white man. Damn again, now we got stolen lands. They say go back to where the fuck you from. Man, this is my land, that's what you stole from us. I'm not Hispanic or Latino, I'm a Mexican. Man, fuck La Milicia, you can have that bitch.
It's time to stand up, educate our people. Stay on our ground, let them know that we equal. We see your plan, but your plan is see-through. You can't stop my people. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm holding it down, yeah.
Los niños accionan pistolas, las niñas se cuidan solas, no es nada raro, señora. Venimos del rancho del cerro y la loma, donde cosecha el maíz y amapola. Lárgate de aquí, no te metas con mi gente, no, te vas a topar de frente. Lárgate de aquí, no te metas con mi gente. Mira, mira. Ahí va la María, más que linda está. Se pone en la esquina, vende su mercancía. No quiere ser reina, ni tampoco rica. Solo quiere feria para su ma y su tía. Aquí brindamos limón, tequila. Ando con lo necesario, bailando marimba. Si ya estoy muerta, pero de la risa. Como Speedy González, diva, diva, diva. Con la bendición yo ando. Low life por Sonora anda rifando. Tengo mi entorno conectado, todo controlado. Como siempre ganando. ¿Quiénes son quien controlan la calle? Ja. Corre que no te atrapen, más bombas tal vez ilegales. Yeah, con la lata negro mate. Súbele, wey, ponte la cumbia, chalino, cadete, saque la que truene. Súbele, wey, que hoy me duele el corazón, me lo pasaré con pulque si se puede. Malos tiempos, dejaré que pasen, sí, solo miro para adelante. Estas perras conmigo quieren toparse y no creo que me aguanten. Biri 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 bam bam, tú no vas a acabar con mi power mexicano. Biri 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 bam bam, tú no, tú no, tú no, tú no. Biri 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 bam bam, tú no vas a acabar con mi power mexicano. Biri 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 bam bam, tú no, tú no, tú no. Hey hey, no me toques santo chida y te veo igual de jodida. No soy suertuda, soy bendecida y estoy tirando para arriba, para arriba, para arriba. Quiero cantar desmadre mariachi. A ti te olvido con mezcales. Que suene fuerte los cadetes de Linares. Yeah, por acá puro González. Ando tumbando la casa. Yeah, ando prendiendo con Rafa la raza. Anda haciendo la finanza, pasando
Traigo el mensaje puro y crudo para el momento. No palabras vanas que rompen los sentimientos. Lucharé y derribaré los muros del lamento. Pídeme pues te daré los sueños que están muertos. Nunca el demonio dio mensajes de amor, pero tampoco los dio el ángel que nos abandona. Quizás miremos diferente el reloj, pero tu cielo es el infierno donde el amor murió. Political violence, criminal silence, physical redemption hasta que acabe el baile. Typical silent, musical fraile. Mucha es la promesa en la que se han llevado el aire. Love, 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 siente verdad como doy mi corazón. No more, no more, no more. It's a reggae cypher, feed the world. What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Throw the tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí. What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Throw the tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí.
Fue que me brotaron alas y ganas de volar. En las buenas mi terreno lleno, en las malas solar. Un muro que decorar, mis hermanos me sirven de guía, mi estrella polar. Guarda los hilos, me duele hasta respirar. Solo quiero ver verdad. Sigo buscándome lejos de lo que piensas. Más fácil de lo que crees, el esfuerzo trae recompensas. Vale la experiencia si es intensa. No tires de la cuerda si está tensa. Miraban al ocaso con tristeza. Las estrellas devolvían con grandeza su mirar. Nos vimos floreciendo en la maleza. La belleza de las piezas y comienzan a encajar.
Es de reventar el beat. Throw the tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí. What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Throw the tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí.
51, 52, con un micro de bambú, más vueltas que Passepartout. Me siento en la old school. It's magnetic kung fu, it's a reggae magnatur. Por las almas sonrientes que acompañan a Zazú. En bambalinas y balú, son rimas de menú, no salidas de Benur, pero cálida y del sur. Homie, always lonely, but I feeling like a gangsta. 52, 53, a mí sí me ves venir, por eso me llaman King, ese fue mi devenir. De marchar o seguir, nunca tuve que elegir, la music me eligió a mí, no tengo nada más que decir. Saifa, Puniga, Loba, Grimble, Fire, Killer Man, Smoker, Chusta, Feel Light, Rasta, Child Metal, Kimanes, Original Reggae, Saifa again.
Guerra interna en la villa del pingüino, entre los que alinean la antena y los que se encuentran dormidos zarandean tus emociones cual barril de vino, cosas feas quizás en tus ideas, pero aquí no, yo no atino, disparo sin mirar a todo aquel vampiro que el diente quiera hincarme, bro. Si lo digo, no es para pensar, sino para aclarar lo que de siempre estás pensando. Acaba el tan magnífico, imposible de torcer metal, sustar my friend, yeah. Reggae warriors again, making connection after connection, my new world, reaching the freedom from them, me more. Nanny boy, represent this game.
What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Throw the tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí. What time is it? Es de reventar el beat. Throw the tangle in the street. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí.
Falta presentación si existe nivel. Sobreviviendo en Babilonia escribí al papel mis problemas cuando al final pude entender que para ser feliz solo tienes que querer. Que solamente hay una vida y es para vivir. Busca siempre una alternativa para seguir. No dejes nunca que te digan que no es así. Y prende un poco de sativa para estar chill. Ey, superando ansiedades con el humo de ganja. Manchas de un pasado trágico en la cancha. Seguimos siendo fuertes, su mierda no me engancha. Mientras otros esperando a que lleguen en la gangsta. No matter where you come, no matter where you come from, solo importa que prestes atención a este sound. Desde the original, killer man al mando. Oh, na, na, na.
Mira, soy un warrior, sonido legendario. Disfruto cada segundo cuando me subo al escenario. Tengo fuego en los labios, sigo cual mercenario. Pasos de gigante y cora revolucionario. Siento que es necesario, suena el reggae en los barrios, para que cale el mensaje y para salvar a los más sabios. Entre mi imaginario, quemo cheques bancarios. Si vienes con la mala vibra, mejor bro, cambia tu itinerario. Ya, 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 ya. Cuando ruge el león suena la música real. Venimos con el ya, 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 ya. Sonido de guiones, el sonido original. Ya, 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 ya. Reggae de corazón es el que se hace en unidad. Ya, 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 ya.
What time is it? De reventar el beat. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí. What time is it? De reventar el beat. Reggae music on the hit. Romperemos las barreras que crearon para ti, pues llegaron los señores y la paz de nuevo aquí.
Se ve tan mal cuando miras a otro lado, los fantasmas del pasado no se detendrán hasta verte derrumbado. Peores lo hemos pasado. Andaba a golpes con la tristeza, me aportó riqueza, me otorgó sabiduría, pues se dibujaba en todas mis piezas. Yo con alegría le daba color después. La aguja sigue girando, tiempo parece burlar de mí. Dijo que sanaría esperando, pero creo que la espina aún sigue ahí. Con los dedos no voy palpando, cierro los puños, escapa de aquí. Agonizando, no me espera el tiempo, no voy a esperar por ti.
Nuestras huellas en la orilla se han borrado por la marea. Si esas estrellas ya no brillan, las entiendo pa' que veas. Sea donde sea, bajo la tormenta o dentro de la odisea, donde arañas cubren el cielo de tela, los aviones nadan y los barcos vuelan. Aunque parezca que va bien, no sabes bien si va mal. Besos que pueden doler, ojos que pueden matar. Tengo mi alma en el almacén encerrada, mi corazón está en huelga, mis sentimientos en ámbar. Gente, Calamala dijo que estaría presente. Fallaron como nunca, se fueron pa' siempre. Millones razones pa' vengarme, pero a veces duele más actuar indiferente.
Como no quieren ver ahogados, tenemos branquias y cerrados los bronquios como la mente de un guardia. Yo soy la montaña y vine con la cordillera. Más cojones que tu ganga tiene una madre soltera. Tú cúbrete si suena mi tu. A mi lado tengo soldados fumando de su palulú. Ni un conjuro de grimorio me lo salva del velorio. Pa' tener pila valorio se matan vestidos de emporio. Yo no quiero una pistola, estoy soñando que la vida que quería me llega a tiempo. Desde que yo la vi sola, loco ando. Vino a verme cuando el sol se estaba poniendo y se dejó una pluma y se perdió en la bruma. Nunca se despidió de mí, nunca se despidió de mí.
Vivo en un mundo que parece roto y sé que no, porque todo es perfecto y lo debo plasmar. Me fumo un troco lo tras otro y lo veo
Arda y por dentro la llama, no puedo contener la ras. Churruscao el corazón, el armazón no puede llegar a pesarme más. Si abro la boca, tu tumba al suelo, me muelo a diario y sobrado de gas. Escupo risas perfectas, paladas de versos eternos, no mueren jamás. Cuando acabe mi condena, me vi muy solo y perdido. Cada vez más negra la flema, más elegante el problema, pero planté cara a todos mis enemigos. Recuperé las ganas, las fuerzas y el garbo. Dedico requiems a mis diablos, que aquí estoy vivo de milagro. Delicadas flores crecieron entre los cardos. Me dicen vienes más delgado que de costumbre. Será de tanto que he bailado en el alambre, que a tanta pena es mejor no ponerle nombre. Llevamos la música en vena, nuestra sangre.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Buscan al viaje de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros a la mesa la pena tan grande. Yo soy tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.